everybody, and welcome to Reed's Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Check us out at thespidermancrawlspace.com. Well, I'm here to review, of course, Ben Reilly Spider-Man issue number 3 by J.M. DeMantis and David Gilly. As we get into close to the end of this mini-series, we find out who the mysterious first date killer is and exactly how are they connected to Ben Reilly. So let's get into the pros. First of all, I like how this picks up right after last issue left off. The one thing is I've always loved Caroline Trainer as a character, as a villain, and actually doing with the work here. So I really like how she is depicted here. She was actually a natural piece for Dr. Octopus back when Otto Octavius was originally killed back in the 90s during the, Web of Death storyline back in the 90s, just before he was brought back to life. It's really interesting about the characterization as well as how she uses her powers a little different with her tentacles and so forth. But I like how right off the bat we know something's up. Not only is Ben realizing the fight seems to be weird, but the way her dialogue is and how she's referring to him as a family member is very interesting. Also, the pieces are really neat. We'll get down to kind of eerie and creepy when she disappears and we see the corpse of the original Kraven the Hunter, who was also dead at the time, show up and then turn into the bunch of spiders, and of course one of Ben's friends actually helping him out. It's really a great little mystery as Ben gets into more trying to figure out who exactly is the first date killer or his stalker, as he realizes that everybody's been referring to him and how the villains have all disappeared, who are, of course, currently locked up. And I really like how JM really gets the relationship with Ashley Kafka and Ben here at Ravencroft and actually going through all the different ones and talk about the psychic profiles and stuff. It keeps itself from being like Arkham Asylum out of the Batman comics and makes it unique in its own. I do love the dialogue, of course, between my favorite Spider-Man villain, Quentin Beck, a.k.a. Mysterio, and, of course, how he reacts to everything. It's very dark and kind of atmosphere here, and I like how Ben kind of threatens him and then finally shuts him up with a web, which leads to all this. I really do like it as Ben kind of tries to dig more into the mystery, how he's realizing things are connected to the tragedies of Peter Parker than really who Ben Reilly is. And of course, as he starts getting face-to-face once again by dark entities, his boss betraying him, we realize it's not her, turning to Kraven, turning to all these other characters, and constantly referred to as brother, as we kind of found out at the early issue. If you are a big Clone Saga fan, or at least know the history of the character, the revelation that Spider-Side, of course, is the villain behind everything makes absolute sense. But those who are mystery, actually, of course, it's a really good piece. JM frames it perfectly. Art White Gala is just fantastic as it moves on to this. There's very little. Unfortunately, that's the only con I can really find wrong with the book, is it is more to the Ben Reilly fans, and this is kind of what we feel, Spider-Man Beyond should have been with the piece, because it's just perfectly framed. You actually get on it. Even those who are not big fans of Ben Reilly really have enjoyed the series because of the writing and the pacing and the use of the history of the character. So it's well done, but like I said, it is kind of catered more to Ben Reilly fans and Clone Saga fans. So when the revelation comes up with Spider-Side, which has been a very leftover plot line for a very long time, is kind of revealed, even though everything was onto it. It's nice, but like I said, that's the only con I really have with the issue, which of course makes it a perfect A in my opinion. I'd like to give it an A+, but we're kind of feeling out with 2 issues left here. The big revelation of who actually the killer was and who's been stalking Ben with all his rogues gallery and Peters is really good. But I'm looking forward to what it is. As we see, it's going to be more of a psychic mind game in the upcoming issue 4 and whatever we'll find out with issue 5. It's well done issue. I'm really enjoying this miniseries, and it's kind of sad that this is going to be ending soon, especially with Spider-Man Beyond ending. We should have had this more as the main book, but you know what are you going to do? So A from me. And speaking of which, guys, that's it. I have nothing else to say here. I will be reading some of my other satellite titles here coming in the next couple of weeks here, but I'm getting everything said for the big conclusion to Spider-Man Beyond next week before I move on to some satellite titles of myself here for the last couple issues, from Venom, Lethal Protector to, of course, the Monster Spider-Man, if you want to call it that. Never mind. Anyhow, for more information, guys, come out and check us out at the Spider-Man Crawl Space. Definitely look at our reviewers from the amazing Peter, Mark, and of course Alfred. And for more information, not only check us out on our various social media, but also our Discord for the discussions on everything Spider-Man related and not so Spider-Man related. And I'll see everybody else on that note, guys, on the Crawl Space.